Aloha, and welcome to another edition of Living Authentically Out Loud. Adena Sampson here. Today's topic, enabling. It's called the need to be needed. That's the topic today, the need to be needed. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the question that I offer you today to get started is, how do you know if you're in a codependent relationship? In codependent relationships, we need to be needed. That's just it, guys, period. That's what it comes down to, okay? So whether it's a health issue that you're harboring or you're offering personal support, whatever that glitch is, whatever that we decide to hide in, okay, both parties involved, okay, are really avoiding their own happiness and their personal issues, period. It's really unfortunate, but a lot of us get into relationships, as I've said before, for the wrong reasons. We're half of ourselves rather than whole. We need to really be whole before we seek that reflection without and before we can create it. But a lot of us do the opposite. And what's behind these codependent relationships is really the belief that if I keep you in need, you'll never leave me. Whichever side that you're on, that's really the belief that's harboring, guys. I know that it's not a conscious thing, but it is in the background. That's what's playing in the background. If I keep you in need, then you'll never leave me. Then you'll always be there. Okay? And so this type of exchange is really grounded in neediness and control, not love and respect. And it's very unfortunate. So with that, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to share with you a small story about my life. Something that you can relate to. I always like to do this. That way you can look back at your life and say, when have I done this? When have I participated in this behavior? So it's about 8 years back now in one of my relationships. I'm not going to go too much into detail. That would not be correct. But I am going to share with you something that was huge for me. I had an aha moment, okay? One of those moments where really, I believe it was just yesterday, I can see it clear as day. This was a pivotal moment in my life, in my growth, in my relationship. So I've had a lot of relationships that have been huge in my growth, and this was one of those times. So I had just gotten out of this relationship. I was ending it and moving forward. And I remember my partner coming to me in tears, in just complete breakdown mode, really saying to me, what am I going to do without you? Okay? And I remembered in this moment, clear as day, oh my God, what have I done? Is this really what I wanted, the need to be needed so bad? Is this what my ego really needed and wanted? I realized in that moment that I had created this. With my enabling, patterns, I had created someone really needed me so bad, and really, how did that make me feel? Really, if I go back, it was part of my ego that felt that I needed that validation. And when I realized that, it really shifted my whole perspective on relationships, made me more aware of what I want to attract and my behaviors that I need to be able to shift the paradigms, okay? So what point in time in your life have you contributed to this type of codependent relationship? Which side have you been on? Okay, we all have done it, whether that's, father, daughter, mother, son, co-workers, specifically romantic, I believe. But when have you done this? I wanted to share that with you because it was a huge pivotal moment in me recognizing, wow, I really felt that I needed this in some way. It wasn't conscious, and now I can really fix that, move forward, and shift the way things work. So I know as a loving person, I love and I give with all of my heart and soul. And when you care for somebody, it's really natural to want to protect them. It's really hard for us to see our loved ones in pain. We don't want to see them in pain, right? But the problem becomes when we get too attached to their life story. With anything that happens, you love them and you care for them. You don't want to see them in pain, but it's not our life story. We all have our own lessons to learn. We all have circumstances that come up in our lives that are supposed to be. And it's not ours to fix theirs. Sometimes we forget about this, and that's when we become enablers, And when we enable somebody, we really hold them back in a way, from their lessons, what they need to learn and they need to experience in this lifetime. And of course, once again, it is not our intent to stunt their growth, but that's really what happens in these codependent relationships. So think of any moment that you have done this or you're participating in this. Be very clear on how we can move forward in a different light. In the process of us loving and giving, okay, we start to give away our power. We start to feel let down and taken advantage of. Why? Well, we've talked about this before, right? We've got to be really aware on continuously putting others' needs before our own. When we do, it gets ugly. Like I said before, we talked about anger, right? Where does anger come from? Well, anger and resentment build up when we overgive and forget about us, right? And if we could only take care of ourselves as much as we are taking care of others, then all would be well. Now, I know we're not taught this in society. We really aren't. Too often we seek outside ourselves for validation. Guys, I have to tell you once again, self-love is not being overconfident and it's not being egotistical, okay? It's loving yourself enough to allow your needs to be fully supported as well. There needs to be a balance between giving and receiving, yin and yang. A fair exchange of energy between both parties, okay? When there is that fair exchange of energy, then everyone is happy. That's the way it works. So I urge you once again to look within yourself. Look at the situations in your life that have played out in the past, that are playing out now. Okay, the only reason we look at the past is to learn and move on now in the present moment. So all I'm asking is really take inventory again. Take responsibility. What is the reflection you want to see? What kind of relationships do you want to have? I'm assuming, of course, healthy relationships in all aspects, not codependent, which means self-love, self-care, so you can offer up more love, light, and so you can exchange with somebody that offers the same to you in balance and in harmony. So with that, I really want you to listen to this little song here. It's a little snippet I've been playing. It's called Walk Away. My sister, Jolana Sampson, wrote this. If you'd like to Google her, go ahead and Google Jolana Sampson, Jolana Adamson. This was from her album Fickletown. Just a little music that helps resonate again where we are. So go ahead and just listen to some of this. Don't walk away. So the meaning behind this, she's saying, don't walk away, leaving me frozen with no place to go. And that's just, you know, I guess the need to be needed, right? And don't walk away and how that feels. And just an expression in a musical way, again, of how we heal. So with that, love, light, and aloha. Until next time, Out Loud Productions offering a safe place for you to live in your truth. We'll see you soon.